Hello everyone, this is Professor Hill. This is a short video for our class Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College. This is the online version of the class for the Maymester 2019 term. This is Thursday, May the 30th. We're running out of May pretty fast around here, folks. And this class comes to a quick end 1 week from today. So we want to make sure that we're getting all of this sorted out. Speaking of which, I just had a chance to grade through the assignments, which were due Wednesday night. So they got turned in. I was going through them today. Couple of quick points about them. Number one, yes, you still need to follow directions. In that, read the case study. You've heard me say this before. Reply. And in that reply, your essay, and again, most students have got this sorted out. You need to bring the chapters from the textbook, apply the terms and key concepts to the case study, and write a good comprehensive essay. Again, most of them are great. Some have been a little too short, although, again, I haven't given a word count. But, you got to give it a good college try. So they need to be comprehensive. They need to be responsive to the questions. And so do that. And again, most of them have been great. But also on the two responses, I still have people that are posting it and then not responding to their classmates, or responding to one but not two. And so please, you want to make sure that you complete the assignment on time. Post, reply to two. That means you're done for the assignment. But on the whole, like I said, on the whole, they've been very good. And my God, coming to this last one about the student's cartoon, wow, we definitely had both ends of that. We had people that thought this guy didn't do anything wrong, this is silly, he was just doodling, and other people were like, that guy needs psychological counseling and needs to get thrown out of college right now because he's a danger to the community. And they were like, the hardliners are ready to get rid of him. So anyway, it turns out that, let me tell you what did happen. Again, it's a true story. And in all honesty, what happened was the dean met with the student who had drawn the cartoon, and he was like shocked. He's like, where did you get that? I threw that away. He says, oh, look, another student gave it to me. And he says, okay. And he says, look, I would never have given that to the professor or somehow tried to intimidate or scare him. I'm not a threat. That was just idle doodling. And the dean listens and asks him a bunch of questions. Again, it's a student with no prior history or record. And so the dean believes him. Says, okay, well, look, I'm going to talk to the professor, go back to class. And so then the dean meets with the professor, and the professor says, so you kicking him out, right? And he's like, no, look, I believe him. I think he was just doodling. I'm not going to do anything. And the professor just has a stroke. The professor's like, what? And you can see the point. The professor is saying, right here in my hand is the threat. So the dean's like, yeah, but look, he didn't give it to you. I think there's not a problem. He doesn't have a history. And the professor's like, I don't care about any of that. And again, like some of the students in the class mentioned, the professor starts to go on about other incidents at other colleges and universities where students shot the place up. And he's like, I'm really worried. And so the dean says, all right. Look, I'll do something and get back to you. So then he's like, what am I going to do? So he calls the student back in. And this probably shouldn't matter, but it did, that this was right near the end of the semester. And you might think, well, what doesn't matter when it happens, it's what happens that matters. Well, but what happened here was the dean says, look, the professor's really upset and wants me to do something. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to suspend you from school for the rest of this semester. Now, there's only like a week to go or something. And the student says, okay, what about my exams? And the dean says, look, take your exams, but And I'll even have somebody else give you the exam for that class with the professor. So don't go to that class anymore. We're already a week away from your test. So look, just study for your test. I'll have somebody else deliver that test to you. You can take the test on your own, and then you'll be suspended. And he's like, okay. So, but I get to take my exams, right? He says, yeah. He says, okay. So don't go to class the rest of this week. But next week is exam week. Show up for your exams, except for that one with the crazy professor, or the professor who is upset. So they agree to this deal. Uh, he says, well, now hold on a minute. What about when does this suspension end? And he says, oh, it's only for this semester. And so, look, it's a spring semester, it's May. He's like, take your exams, go home for the summer. In the fall, come back. It'll be like nothing ever happened. And the student says, and the student reaction I thought was fascinating because the student is just very deferential. He says, oh, no, absolutely. I understand whatever you say. I'm happy to comply. It didn't give the dean or anybody else any trouble. I might have complained, but anyway, the student takes the punishment and then takes his exams, goes home for the summer, and the dean is able to then turn around to the professor and say, look, I did what you wanted. I suspended that student. And the professor's like, oh, thank God. I was really worried about that. Thank you for supporting me and helping me. And that was the right call. And I swear to God, that's what happened. The student didn't go to classes the rest of that week. Next week, showed up, took all of his exams, and then disappeared for the summer, and things cooled back down. And the fall, showed up, finished school. Now, I got to tell you, I'm unhappy with that decision for lots of reasons, not least of which is I don't think the student personally did anything wrong. I think they were dealing, the dean believed him. I think that was it. But it turns out even a short suspension, that makes a difference. You're talking about a law student being suspended for threatening a professor. That's just going to look bad on paper. And at some point, the student's going to have to explain it, I don't know, to a bar committee or somebody. Now, the student did finish school, graduated, and so it kind of turned out to be what the dean had hoped, which was a little something, but not too much. The problem is sometimes those things can get away from you. The dean thinks, I'll just do a little something, and then it spins out of control and turns into something big. But in this case, it seemed to have... Again, what I don't like is the focus on the punishment, on the sanction. I think you kind of want to say, look, are you guilty or not, innocent or guilty, in violation of a code of student conduct or not? And then if you are, apply the sanctions that are appropriate to that. And my thing was, it's kind of like the dean wanted to find him guilty to make the professor happy, even though he didn't think he was guilty, and then give him a really light punishment because he didn't think he was in violation of the code. If he didn't think that, he should have just stood up to the professor and said, no, I'm sorry. I don't think it's a violation, live with it. But that's not what happened. So anyway, that's how that one turned out. But it does raise an interesting point also about they did not have a zero tolerance policy. The dean did have some flexibility around professional judgment, so could get away with it one way or the other. And I think that makes sense. You want to have good seasoned professionals making decisions and not tie their hands with zero tolerance or other policies which are really restrictive. All right, so that being said, it's Thursday, the 30th. We're on to the next part. Remember, we're doing 4, 5, and 6 as a block, and then we're going to get to 7. But our next assignment is due Sunday night. And one last thing about this, which is the final exam. It's already open. It's posted. It's in the last module. When you go to assignments, you'll see it says go to the module, download it, complete it, and then come back to the assignment section in order to upload it. There's a big blue button there. I added this language into the assignment today just to make sure it's clear because some people were saying where's the final exam? And I'm like, it's in the module. So you go there, get it, complete it, and then upload it through the assignment section. So the test itself is in the module that says final exam. And then once you complete it, you upload it back where it says assignment and submission, big blue button, submit assignment here. It literally says that. So hopefully that's clear enough. But if it's not, send me a message and I will be happy to help walk you through it. And again, if you have any other questions or concerns, of course, for anything, anytime, just send me a message through Canvas or give me a call here at the office. So that's how that one turned out. It's a little wacky, but, and again, like I said, I'm not completely happy with how it all turned out. But the next one, due June the 2nd, coming up, is the Nash family. That one's complicated, so pay attention. Take care. Bye-bye.